Inheriting my uncle's clock shop seemed like an odd twist of fate, but it was a welcome escape from my dreary desk job. It wasn't until I noticed the clocks all began counting down simultaneously that my initial excitement turned into unease. Every clock, from the grandfather's to the tiny wristwatches, ticked in unison toward an unknown deadline. At first, I chalked it up to a malfunction, but the chilling synchronicity was impossible to ignore. Something was definitely off, and I couldn't shake the feeling that these clocks weren't just measuring time, they were measuring something much more sinister. I delved into my uncle's old notebooks, hoping to find some logical explanation. Instead, I discovered entries that described strange occurrences and cryptic warnings. He wrote about shadows that moved on their own, and whispers that echoed through the shop after midnight. The words seemed to pulse with urgency, and I couldn't help but feel like I was reading a warning meant for me. As I read on, the countdown continued relentlessly, each tick amplifying the anxiety that gnawed at my sanity. I couldn't help but wonder what happened when they hit zero, and if my uncle had faced the same nightmare. Determined to uncover the truth, I spent nights in the shop, watching the clocks and listening for whispers. One night, as the countdown neared its final moments, the air grew thick with tension. The shadows danced more fervently, and the whispers crescendoed into a cacophony of incomprehensible murmurs. Panic surged through me, and I began to understand that my uncle had been trying to protect me from this very moment. A single piece of paper slipped from his journals. I hastily scrawled a note that read, "Time is not what it seems." As the countdown reached its last seconds, my heart pounded in sync with the final ticks. The room seemed to collapse inward, and I was engulfed in overwhelming darkness. Suddenly, I was standing in a different place entirely, an endless expanse of clocks, each face twisted in grotesque expressions of time. The realization hit me like a cold wave. These clocks weren't just measuring time, they were portals, gateways to something beyond comprehension. I was trapped in the space between seconds, the same fate that had befallen my uncle. As the clocks reset and began their countdown anew, I understood that escape was not an option. I was now a keeper of time, bound to the clock shop and its dark secrets forever.